Hey guys, it's Maggie and I am back today, and I thought today I would share how things have been going since I had all 4 wisdom teeth removed. Now at this point in time I think it's been 8 days since the surgery, so we've had a decent amount of time to adjust, to heal, and I thought I would just kind of share the progression of how things have healed, how I'm doing. I gotta be real with you, I'm gonna be so real. If I could go back and choose when things happen in life, how they happened, I would not choose having wisdom teeth removal surgery right now. Now that I've had it done, it went great. Everything got removed perfectly, no nerve damage. I still would not have done it now. We'll get into that. Before I go through the progression of days and how things have gone, I do want to thank my sponsor of today's video, something that I actually wore on surgery day, because when you are unconscious and you have anesthesia in your system and you're a little loopy-goosey, high as a kite, you can't really pay attention too closely to your ostomy. So I want to talk about Stoma cloak. Okay, so what even is the point of wearing an ostomy cover other than aesthetics, right? Making it look a little bit nicer. Well, there's a reason that I use a Stoma cloak over other ostomy covers. And while it does make my bag look really nice, that's not the reason I use it. It's the functionality. I just got out of the shower maybe about an hour ago and my bag was still damp. Thankfully this one doesn't hold on to a lot of moisture, but it does a little bit. And when I put my Stoma cloak on, it wicks that moisture right off of the fabric, so that way I don't have wet fabric sitting on my skin, getting on my clothes. I've had it soak through my clothes before. I know you know what I'm talking about. The Stoma cloak prevents that. If I have any odor that I'm noticing from my ostomy bag, if I put this on, it disappears almost immediately. And I find that it adds a lot of comfort and even a little bit of muffling from plastic crinkling sounds. So it's not just an ostomy cover. It doesn't just cloak your stoma. It wicks moisture so it's not sitting on your skin. It eliminates odors and is really, really comfortable. When I put one on, I don't even notice it. The best part, you wash and dry with your clothes like normal, so there's no added steps. I've been using Stoma cloak for a few years now, and it came along with me to my wisdom tooth removal because I just didn't want to worry about my ostomy, and it worked out great. If you're interested in trying the Stoma cloak, make sure to check them out at stomacloak.com. All right, thank you so much to Stoma cloak for sponsoring another video. Let's get back to the wisdom tooth removal. Okay, I had my wisdom teeth removed. We know that. Surgery went great. I've already shared, my little vlog from that day. You guys saw me, just not able to talk because my tongue was so swollen and everything was so numb. I couldn't feel anything. And honestly, that was not that bad. That was fine. You have to expect that kind of outcome after you have your whole mouth numbed and you've been knocked out to have your teeth removed. It actually went really great, other than what I had explained in that vlog. And I would say overall, healing has gone well. So if you're interested in kind of how healing has gone and you want to see what the actual holes look like, I'm going to share a video of what the holes look like today because it is fascinating. So I would say the day after I had my wisdom teeth removed, I feel like the pain really started to kick in and I was really getting adjusted to looking at my mouth. I feel like anytime you get any kind of surgery, no matter where it is, if you have incisions or wounds, try to look at them. I know that is easier said than done because looking at your body being cut open makes you feel a little weak, a little woozy, okay? Even myself, who has had many of that. I have many scars all over my body. I really, really try to get a good look at whatever the incision is, just so I get a baseline. And that way I know if things are going a little funky, I can tell the difference pretty quickly. And then, take it from there if I need to contact the surgeon or whoever. So I did try to get a really good look the first day after having the surgery done. The day of surgery, you're not supposed to do any oral care at all, which was weird because I've gotten on a really good oral care kick right now because of my dentist. They have me doing a number of things, but I've gotten really good and consistent with flossing every night and brushing really good and doing different mouthwashes and stuff. And I feel like my gums have seen improvement and my mouth just feels better. So not doing that and not being able to do my full routine since, like, I can't water floss or anything still, I don't like it. I feel like, ugh. So yeah, the day after though, you can start to pick up on some of your routines. So I brushed my teeth for the first time, and that was really weird just because you're kind of afraid. The instructions for me were to continue my oral care, even brushing back there, and I was like, I don't want to touch back there. So I just made sure that I gently did a mouthwash. I also started to do saltwater rinses, which are really, really helpful. And, you know, we got through that day. The thing that was the hardest, and I knew this was going to happen. See, I am breastfeeding, okay? And when you breastfeed, and also I have an ileostomy, so I'm kind of constantly dehydrated. I knew it was going to be really hard. I do much better with more solid foods than I do liquid foods. They just tend to go through me and come out of my ostomy. So I rely on thicker foods to help slow me down. And I have to drink a lot of fluids and eat a lot, it feels like. I mean, food just in general kind of goes through me quickly. So when I'm breastfeeding and I need all this nutrition and all this hydration, I knew that this was going to be really, really hard. I really did. I was trying to mentally prepare for that. And I don't know, I think maybe I was just more worried about how the surgery was actually going to go, if I was going to wind up with nerve damage. Was it going to be awful and painful afterwards? I maybe didn't mentally prepare as well for what could happen breastfeeding wise. And so we'll talk about that a little bit more in a moment. It has been, the hardest thing has been eating. I guess I didn't really think about how gaping the holes would be. Like, yes, I know they're pretty big teeth. Wisdom teeth are molars, essentially, I guess. I don't know. They're huge, and they're gonna leave a big hole. Some of mine were underneath gums, so they had to really slice, and I have on this side kind of a cut going upwards because they had to cut it pretty far. That first day after surgery, I was just eating liquid yogurt drinks. I had some rice pudding. I tried a lot of soups, but honestly, it's like I can feel that the soup is not going to stay with me long, and it doesn't make me feel good. I was trying everything, and I think was it that day or maybe 2 days after, I wound up blending down some oats, which I have done for my daughter because she's starting solids and whatnot. I blended some oats. So it was basically a powder to try and make myself oatmeal that was really, really thin and liquidy, and it wasn't that good. I was just really trying to get anything, and the really frustrating thing is when you're breastfeeding, you're really hungry and you kind of just want to scarf everything down, and you can't. Like, you can't chew. You have to take little bites and go really slow, and it was like I was starving those first couple of days. The pain, the pain was there. The pain was kind of what I expected it to be. I stayed on Tylenol and ibuprofen for a few days, and I iced my face the first couple of days. I think that really, I made it so I really didn't swell a whole lot. I swelled a little bit first couple of days. After that, though, I really didn't have too much of a problem. That was just, that was a really hard couple of days there, just feeling like I was starving. I think around the third day after surgery, I had dissolvable stitches in. The left side started to loosen, and I think it finally fell out on the third day post-op, and I was a little worried, like, is that too soon? And I think it was fine. The thing that you want to avoid is the dry socket, where you lose your blood clot in there, because then it's basically your nerve is just exposed and it's open for infection. And so I was really trying to be careful about that. Not drinking anything too hot, cold, no carbonation. And I believe that stitch is what also helps to keep that in place. So I was a little nervous. I mean, there's definitely sensitivity, but I could not tell you for sure if I wound up with dry socket or not. Like, there's pain, and there still is pain, but the way people describe the dry socket it sounds awful, and I'm just like, I'm okay. Like, ibuprofen takes care of it, and I don't need it that often anymore. Who knows? But everything seems to be healing really well. As I started to be able to chew a little bit more, I started chewing with my front left teeth because my tooth got cracked more. My root canal tooth that was next to my bottom right wisdom tooth got cracked more. About a quarter of it is missing now. So I basically can only chew up here. The pain that I'm really having now, I think, is stemming from that tooth. And I have gone back and forth in my mind. Do I call my dentist to move up my root canal appointment? Do I wait and keep it? Because it's not that far out, but it's like, I know I have to wait to let things heal with my wisdom teeth, and it's only a little bit after the point where they said I could get my root canal done. I think they said you have to wait 2 weeks, and I'm waiting 3 weeks to get it done. So I'm like, it won't be that long. I keep going back and forth in my head, but anyways, that's where I think a lot of my pain is. My right side is definitely more sensitive than my left. And I'll tell you what, the top teeth, the top wisdom teeth, truly, I don't think I would know if I had them done, except for running my tongue back there. That's another thing. I really thought, and I was kind of fearful of the adjustment to your mouth. I thought it was going to feel way different. And I was going to be like, oh my gosh, like missing some giant teeth. It's going to feel like huge holes. My tongue really doesn't go back there that often to notice. So that really hasn't been an adjustment. If you're worried about that, I don't know, it might be different for you, but it doesn't really feel all that different unless I, run my tongue to the back and feel for the tooth, and it's not there anymore. I think around day 5 is when I lost the stitches on the bottom right, and I have been keeping an eye on the holes in the incisions, and I can see what looks like a clot in the bottom left one. This one looks like it has healing going on, like it does. It is starting to appear like the holes might be shallowing a little bit. I'm glad that I took a good look at both holes originally just to get an idea. But going back to eating, that has been a pain in the butt, and here's the reason why. These holes are big enough, they will collect anything that you eat unless it is absolutely pure liquid. Trying to clear the holes out has been the most irritating thing. And I have done things that I'm not supposed to do because I can't, I'm desperate to get, it's uncomfortable to have food in there. It's irritating and painful. No matter what I eat, it gets into these holes. And they say, okay, we'll do the salt water, warm salt water rinses, just be real careful. That doesn't do nothing. That does not clear, no matter how many times, no matter how many times I do it, nothing does not clear it. They get packed, okay? Disgusting. I know, but I want to share the realities of this. So I did wind up taking an oral syringe and just gently flushing them, and it still takes me forever to clean them out. So every time that I eat anything solid, I'm accounting for, which is kind of annoying because I have a little girl who, wants to be with me 24/7. So thankfully Zach has been working at home because of the holidays and because snow and all that fun stuff. We have a snowstorm coming up, so we'll see what happens there. But I kind of just have to hand her off so I can go handle my teeth. It takes 10 minutes to clear them out. And I'm just very gently using a 3 milliliter syringe. I'm not doing anything bigger because you don't want a ton of pressure. The bigger the syringe you use, the more pressure you're going to have. So just a little 3 milliliter syringe, and I'm just carefully trying to clear them out without knocking a clot out. Although at this point, I think 8 days post-op, I don't know how much of a risk there is with having dry socket at this point. It should be healing enough where the tissue is growing over, I believe. I went to a wound ostomy school for half a second. I got all the way to the end of the wound class. I did not take the final exam, but I did the full wound class. And that was, I've only talked about it a few times because I wish I was able to finish, but it's when I got sick and had to get my colon out. So, but from my knowledge with that, I know teeth can be a little bit different because it's a mucous membrane. It's not just skin, but it does appear as though they're healing appropriately. I am very much looking forward to, though, the day that these holes are filled in enough where I do not have to clean them. That has been awful. So, with this whole thing happening, it is my own fault that I did not get these teeth taken care of a long time ago when I should have. You know, life does get in the way. I had so many other things happen in the last 6 years. I had my proctocolectomy surgery. I had my kidney ureter pyeloplasty surgery. I had my maxillary sinuses opened up in surgery. So many infections. I wound up, you know, with a lot of dehydration issues and wound up on IV fluids multiple times a week. And a little bit of a Crohn's flare-up with that. There was a lot going on. And that's just, you know, health stuff. There were other things going on in life. So the teeth just felt like the least of my problems, and I mentally and physically just could not go through with it. And now, you know, I'm at a point where I'm like, okay, this is the next step in getting your health on the best track that you can. Let's get it done now that we have time. And so this is the best time, just, I guess, in that sense. But there have been so many things in the last couple of weeks, like, if I could go back, if I knew, I wish I could go back to when I was a teenager and get this done, because I think that I would, if I knew how it was going to go afterwards, I think I would have put it off more. Maybe not though, not because of the root canal, you know, that's been bugging me a bit. I've mentioned on my channel so many times how important breastfeeding is to me. There's good research out there to show that 12 plus months of breastfeeding your baby can reduce their chances for autoimmune illness, and that is huge to me as somebody with an autoimmune illness. I don't want her having Crohn's or any other issues, and I know it's not a guarantee or anything like that, obviously, but if I can give the best chance to her, I want to do it. Like, that's priority to me. So this has affected breastfeeding so much because I have not been able to eat or drink. Like, I'm at the point now where I'm just eating fully as I should because I can't not. I would rather deal with issues with these healing and you know, be able to keep my breastfeeding journey going. It's just how I would do it. My supply dipped a lot. I didn't have nearly as much energy as I thought. I guess you don't really realize how much any surgery that you get, it's kind of like understood, I guess, in my brain that, yeah, your body's going to put a lot of energy towards healing. You're going to need a lot of rest. You're going to be more tired. And I guess the teeth, I was like, they're teeth. They're teeth. Well, how much energy is that going to expend compared to getting your whole colon and rectum out, you know? A lot apparently. I was so exhausted. I was so hungry. And my breast milk, I think the day of surgery, I pumped 9 ounces total. That sucks. I was so afraid. And now that I'm a few days out, I have spent the last couple days exerting a lot of energy trying to get my supply up. And it's working. I am back to about 1 ounce an hour, so about 24 ounces. That's incredible. But the amount of effort that I am putting, like power pumping twice a day, an hour each time, the amount of fluids I'm taking in, forcing myself to eat so much more than my appetite is telling me. I hate it. Like, but I'm doing it because I want to feed my baby for 12 months minimum. So I think if I could go back and just plan this wisdom tooth removal for any other time for the breastfeeding component alone, I would do it because this has sucked. It really has. Okay, so other than that, like that has been a huge, it's taken a mental toll on me. Just having to wake up multiple times throughout the night to ensure that I'm pumping, saving that milk to then be able to feed her. I don't know, I might just make a video about this separately because it's like all the things I'm doing, because it's a lot, but it's so important to me. But you know, I am happy with how the lack of teeth are progressing. Not the teeth, the lack of teeth. I'm really proud of myself for doing something that was really difficult for me to do. I don't like any teeth procedures, so I'm really proud of myself for just saying, you know what, you gotta get it done, let's do it. And now it's done. And You know, it's really putting me with my best foot forward health-wise. I'm now able to move forward with my root canal to get that tooth taken care of. That's really bugging me now, so that is, I am frustrated that, I don't know, like it had cracked previously, and that actually relieved the pain, I feel like, because it made it, the crack that I did at home, okay, made it so food was not getting stuck behind that tooth anymore. And then the oral surgeon in my oral surgery cracked another big piece off of it, like way bigger, and now I think the nerve is exposed, and I like can't have anything on that side. So, but at least, you know, now the wisdom teeth are out of the way, I can do something about this tooth. The dentist wouldn't touch it without the wisdom teeth being out. So we'll get that taken care of. I think I need one more filling somewhere on this side. I actually don't know what tooth, but it's one where they have to drill. And I think after that, fingers crossed, everything is taken care of tooth-wise. I do have other goals, like my 2 front teeth. I'm sure some people have noticed it. They're like this. Like, they're kind of like that. I had braces, and my teeth were perfectly straight, but there was not enough room in my mouth for my teeth to not keep like overcrowding like they do. Now there's room. So, you know, I would love to in the future do some sort of Invisalign. I wish I could just do something like overnight only. It's such not a big deal. Like, it'd be nice to have straight teeth, especially since I did have braces for a while. But it is what it is. We'll see what happens in the future. But as long as my teeth are healthy, that's my goal. That's what I wanted. And I think we're gonna get there soon, and then we'll stay on a good track with the dentist. I really like the dentist that we go to now. And Zach really likes him too. So, oh boy. That's how we're doing. 8 days post-op. Maybe I'll do a follow-up in like 5 weeks or something. I was Googling, how long does it take for these holes to fill in? And Google was telling me 6 weeks. We'll see if that happens. But I maybe will film a little update in a few weeks just to say when the holes filled in completely, when I stopped having pain. Like it's almost as if the day goes on, the more I talk or the more I use my jaw muscles, it's like they're tiring out. They're just sore. It's kind of just sore all along here. Maybe that has something to do with the nerve. I don't know. I have no idea. We'll see how it heals. It's not bad though. Like, I'm talking to you normally. I'm fine. I'm okay. You know, is what it is. It's just the biggest impact was breastfeeding, and that has been the hardest. I would take the pain if my supply winds up being okay and I can feed my baby to 12 months minimum. Alright guys, well there's my update for you. If you're getting your wisdom teeth taken out, I wish you all the luck in the world. Thank you so much to Stoma Cloak again for sponsoring this video, protecting my clothing and my skin and everything while I was under the knife, under the drill. I don't know. I guess under the drill. Zach said he heard a lot of drilling, but it was nice to just keep it on and kind of, okay, if I have a little leak, if I was trying out a new product at the time, if that malfunctions, hopefully we are all good, and you know, I wound up being fine. So thank you to them. Make sure to check them out in the link below. And alright guys, well, I'll keep you updated on my teeth. Thanks so much for watching. See you in the next. Bye! Thank you so much for watching today's video. If you are looking for a way to help support my channel, consider liking this video or even subscribing. You can also check out my store at LetsTalkIBD.shop. I have stickers and hoodies like these guys over here, just related to chronic illness and inflammatory bowel disease, something fun. And I also have a coupon code for my YouTube watchers. You could also become a member of my channel, like the wonderful people scrolling on screen here. They've become a member and they have access to videos a little bit earlier. It's a great way to support my channel, and really, just watching my videos means the world. Thank you so much, and I'll see you in the next.